Greetings, family, friends, and the world. This is Mikael Eric Harris, better known as the Juice, also known as the Alkaline Water Guy. How is everyone doing on this beautiful night after Monday? Excuse me. This is January 5th. Well, it was January 5th, 2025. This is the night after the day of Monday, January 5th, 2025. We actually in the night now. And also, this is Mikael's Knowledge of Truth. We're here every quote unquote Monday, night after Monday at 9 p.m. Um, every night after Monday, but this is the night now, this is not the day. After Monday at 9 p.m. This is Mikael's Knowledge of Truth, and this is again it was the night after the day of January 5th, 2026. All right. And as I started to go into Proverbs, I got ready to go into Proverbs, and then someone in YouTube asked a question. They said, "Have I ever had a demon or a supernatural encounter? Have I had seen or had any demon or supernatural encounter?" Now, in part one, I shared about my spiritual awakening, about what I went through, what I saw, the things I felt, heard, seen, and experienced at that time. That was before coming back to the United States. That's when I was in Europe. That's when I first went through my spiritual awakening. Now, since being back in the United States, I was in Atlanta. I had two experiences. One when I was in Atlanta, and one when I was back here when I made it back home to Detroit. But I said I had two more, so I'm going to share these two. I shared the first one, which is my spiritual spirit, my spiritual awakening, my spiritual experience when I was in Europe. I had two more experiences, right? Now, I'm not going to disclose one's name in these two, but I'm just going to tell you the situation that happened. Well, one time was back when I was in Atlanta, and I was with some friends, right? I was with some friends, and I'm just going to tell you the best way I can, and according to what happened, and the best way I can leading up to it. Um, I will say one of my friends' name was he was a empath, right? He was an empath. Now, there was things that he did and he actually shared and brought out, But I'm just going to talk about the experiences I had conflicting with a couple of other spirits, right? Not physically hand to hand, but something we had to deal with, kind of. We'll just say this was that. Not we'll just say this happened in Atlanta. We was over a friend. Matter of fact, me and my brother Zen, like I was telling you, he's passed. Rest in peace, Zen now. But we was traveling, and he was telling me about this young man that I knew. I knew this young man I knew him at least 10 years. All right. I'm not going to say no names. I knew him and his mother for at least 10 years. So he was telling me that he was with them at one point in time. Now, me and Zen, we're traveling. And he was telling me that the mother left the son with a guy who's supposed to be a friend, but I'm just going to say he was gay. I'm going to say he's supposed to be gay. I wasn't around at this time, but he was telling me about what happened with him. And he told me that he was around the sister that I knew for over 10 years and around her son. And they told him about a situation that happened when he was with the guy. Something ended up happening to the young man, which was the spirit had ended up coming out the young man that I knew for over 10 years, right? But he was with this guy. She left him with this gay guy. The mother left him with this gay guy. I would never do that. I would never leave my child with someone that I know that's gay. And I'm just going to say that. My child. When I say my child, what I'm saying is even though he was around the age of 18 around this time, I guess he would know better, but I don't know. I wasn't around, so I can't say. But the point I'm getting at is this. Men have influences. I'm saying men, even though he's gay, he was still a male figure. They have influences over children because they're older, and they have influences over young, undeveloped minds. And I was listening to I'm just saying this to put it out there. Listen to Captain Samuels today. He was talking to a young man who was in his 20s, and the young man was talking about he still have hang up issues over a relationship he had when he was 15, 16, and he's still a virgin, and he's 20 something now. So, but he still hadn't had sex or anything like so. But he was just saying that the mind haven't developed anywhere between. And I agree. When you up until your 29, and I'm just going to give you this, y'all can do the research. Look up Saturn's return. Now, even though it's called Saturn's return, it's a certain time limit in your adolescent years to a young adult years. I'm just sharing this information. Maybe y'all can do some research for yourself. I'm giving you some knowledge to check out for yourself. Now, even though we call it Saturn's return, that's just a name, but it's a certain time limit. And every around your 29th year, this is when I went through my spiritual awakening. Around your 29th year, you're going to go through a certain type of situation. It's going to be for the better of you or the worse. It all depends on where you go in the life, in your life at this time. It all depends on where you start to arise in your life. Do you follow the path spiritually, or do you get off the path spiritually? So look up Saturn's return and you'll understand what I'm getting at. So, but like I'm saying, this brother was about 18 years old. I went to my spiritual awakening at 29. So I'm telling you what I know. I didn't find out about Saturn's return until I was 39. That's when I found out about it. Okay. So I'm just giving you a little bit of understanding. Yep. I was about 39. Yep. So when I found, so it was about 29, 39. No, I was 49. I was about 39, about 39, 49. I can't remember right now, but I think it was about 10 years later, 29, 39, about 10 years later, I believe. 39, going into my 40s. Yeah. It was around about that time. Something like that. 39 or 49. I got to go back and, I'm looking at how old I am now, but I guess got to go back and calculate. Because I'm thinking about where I was at that time, but since I'm just coming up with the conversation, I have to go back and really dig into it to see. But I was in my 39 or 49 around that time. Ooh, man, where my mind is at right now on that point. But the point I'm getting at, I was around that time. About 10, I don't think I was 20 years, but it was about 10 years past. I was 29 when I went to my spiritual awakening. I was there about 10 years. No, I might have been about around about 49. I might have been around about 49 when I found out about that information. But nevertheless, just thinking on it. Nevertheless, the young man, he was 18. And the mother left him with a gay man. I'm gonna put it like that. And this is what was told to me. I wasn't there. So Zen was telling me about it. Then they ended up calling Zen while we were traveling. Said it's happening again. It's happening again because this spirit would come up in this young man after being around this guy. So I don't know what triggered it. We know what probably triggered it, but who knows? So we end up turning around because Zen was spiritual. I'm spiritual, but I don't know about pulling no demons out of nobody, nothing like that. But Zen is spiritual because he was like a medium, right? And I've shared before, we went to a place and he actually solved the murder spiritually because he's a medium and spirits like come in and out of this brother, But yet and still, that was just who he was. It wasn't like he conjured it. It was just him. So, but what ended up happening was we ended up turning around, going back to his sister's house, right? We was in Atlanta at the time, in the area around the outskirts of Atlanta. Went back to the house. Now, he in the bed, he's in his bedroom. We get back to the house, and there's about 4 or 5 of us in the house. And but they're telling me more about it because I'm new to the situation. Zen told me about it. Then the mother was giving me information on it. Then her boyfriend was there as well. So he come out, the young man come out, I'm not giving no name, but he come out and said, "Oh, it's happening again. It's happening." He started shaking. Then he said, "Zzz," like that. Now he's still in his voice, but he's talking like, you know. Now Zen is asking questions, and there's supposed to be demons in him, right? In the young man. Probably like three different demons. I think one was anger. It was three different ones. I know that much. One was supposed to be like anger, right? One was supposed to be anger. There's two other demonic spirits that's supposed to be in there. Now, but he wasn't speaking demonically, but it was just taking over his body, but he was in the same voice. But you can tell he was like, so Zen, we sit up there and Zen like he's talking to him, and the demon, I guess the demon is responding back, but not trying to hurt nobody, nothing like that. He just responded back like he's a part of the young man. But it wasn't the young man. We can tell it wasn't him, but he's responding like he's the young man. So we're standing back, and he's talking to him. He said, "Well, why don't you come out of him?" He said, "Well, I belong here." He said, and then the demon actually said that a family put a curse on his family years ago. When I say year, I mean thousands of years ago. He had like a curse on his family, on his bloodline. It was like a curse, right? Now, this was said. The demon is sharing this information while Zen is asking questions, and they asking questions. I'm like, how are we gonna get this thing out? Now, I'm not versed in nothing like that. I know I'm spiritual, but so the demon would look at certain people. I wasn't scared. I didn't have no fear in me. He would look at certain people, looking at something, and say, "Yeah, you have demons in you." He'd talk about a certain person that was there. He talked about another person that was there. I said, "Don't look at me." I said, "I ain't scared of you. I ain't scared of you." Like he was nervous. He was scared, and he would look away from me, because I didn't show no fear. But the ones who more like showing a little fear, whatever, you look at me and say like you got something in you or whatever. He'll look at me like in their stomach area, but he couldn't say nothing about me. He was like he was scared. He looked away from me. But I remember he was standing there. There was, at a point we had him sitting down, but he was standing there. Zen had some it was called some California water or what have you. So Zen would say something, he'd throw some California water, and he would sit there. And then the brother, the sister's boyfriend would hold him on one side. I had him on one side, and then when Zen was throwing that California water on him, he he wrenched at him like his arm was stiff too. Now I was holding him down. He kind of did. Me and the boyfriend, the sister's boyfriend, held him down in the chair. Right, we held him down in the chair. So Zen asking him questions and well, why are you here? Why are you in this body? Come out of this body. He said, "I belong here." And then Zen was like having a conversation with him. I'm like, "Man, how you gonna get to Zen out of his body?" I don't want to leave but Zen was scared that night. We stayed the night at the house. Me and Zen was in a different room. Like they had like mattresses on the floor. She had like it wasn't a room in the house, but she had like about 3 or 4 different rooms. So we stayed there. Zen was scared. He was like, I said, "Man, put something up there." I wasn't scared. I wasn't nervous or nothing. I didn't have no fear on me, but he was, so he was on a mattress over there. I was laying over here, and I could tell he was nervous, but I wasn't. So, but that was later on. But we stayed there because the sister wanted us to stay at the house, for protection that night and make sure, just I guess for him or whatever. Because she said I wasn't scared, so she wanted us to stay at the house. But going through the story, the young man, he rested at Zen, and then we put him in the chair. We sat him down, and then Zen said Zen was talking to him about the Bible. He put the Bible in his lap. And then Zen was he said, "What you think about this book? What you think about it?" He said, "It's a book." That was the demonic spirit said, "It's a book." And he like flicking the water off of him. It's a book. It's only a book. That what the demonic spirit said. But he wasn't reading nothing out the book. Yes, it is a book. But it's the words in the book that you're supposed to use. And that's the difference. A lot of people don't understand. You can use words, and they say words are spells. But if you don't know how to use the quote-unquote spells, which is words, it's just words. If you understand what I'm getting at. if you understand what I'm saying. So, and I'm not into spells and nothing like that, but I understand what words are. Words are spells, which is spelling. You can use words for good, you can use word for evil. It all depends on how you use the words, which is spells. Spelling. That's why they call them spelling. Spelling tests. You got to have an understanding of what's being said. So, back to the story. So, like I said, from what I can remember, Zen was having a conversation with him. I remember listening to some of the things he was saying, and Zen was like, "Well, it belongs there." And he was like, I said, "Man, you say something, try to get the, But next thing, the boy seemed like he came back to himself and said, "Yeah," but then like he was like, "Well, I might need this spirit. I might need anger for whatever I'm angry for, or whatever." And I'm up here looking at trying to understand. I'm trying to understand the situation because I don't know anything about exorcism or nothing like that. Like I said, it didn't seem demonic as in the speech, but it was a spirit that was there speaking from the young man. That's all I can say. And I think I seen the young man once or twice after that before coming back to Atlanta, but he seemed like he was all right. But we don't know. It's a lot of, and I used to say this all the time, but I might as well say it again. It's a lot of people with demonic spirits in them, and miss a lot of people with demonic. They don't even realize it. A lot of people have demonic spirits in them, and they don't realize it. A lot of them is these so-called sicknesses like dementia. A lot of these are demonic spirits. I would say dementia, but what's their name? Tourette's is a demonic spirit. Alcoholism is about. All these things are demonic spirits, whether people realize that or not. These are different demonic spirits that's on people, and they don't know how to get them off. You're not in the spirit realm to see these things, but these things are on people, and the only way to get fast and pray. And even says these things come by fasting and praying. You can get rid of them. You got to fast, you got to pray, and read and study the book. Read and study the book, fast and pray. This is your key. I went through mine. I've seen things, felt things, and heard things. And like I say, I don't know what was in me at the time without sharing with you. When I heard your baby be born without a soul, and I'll see you in hell, and all this, I was like, man. But I was fasting and praying. Everybody, I believe, have a part of good and evil in them, but it all depends on how much is a light in your body. How much light do you have? How much darkness do you have? What's in your body? What do you obtain? Are you always mad or are you always happy? How much of light or spiritualness is in your body? Good or evil? A lot of people don't even realize this. So that's just one part. That's just one spiritual or supernatural encounter that I told you about that young man. I've seen him, like I said, once or twice since before I left. And that was the last time I seen him. I haven't heard from him or his mother since then. Not since after then, but not since I left Atlanta. So, but other than that, that's another point of view that I went through. How much goodness? Let me ask. Someone asked me a question. Let me ask over here in Facebook. I'm sorry, in YouTube. Porton75 asks, how much goodness does it take in your soul to kill an infidel? How much goodness does it take in your soul to kill an? I can't tell you. I'm sorry. I can't tell you how much it takes to do or not to do. What I can share with you is this. Study. The more you get into the law, I tell you what I know. What I do know is this. I shared in part 1 what I went through during my spiritual awakening. And I was studying, and I was fasting, and I was praying. I went 5 days. I've seen things, felt things, and heard things the average man don't see, feel, and hear. So I went through what I'm telling you about. And what I'm sharing with you is that, like I said, words are spells. It all depends on how you cast them. So if you're studying the word of Yah, the word of the Creator, the voice of the Creator tells us to study the law, keep the law. We study the law, and fasting and praying if we fast, and my best fast, I'm gonna tell you to me and how I got results. I'm just telling you my point of view. The results that I got, dry fast. And I say dry fast, try to dry fast at least 3 to 5 days. Start off slow. Do 1 or 2 days. Don't eat nothing or drink nothing for a full day. Pray. If y'all working, don't even let people see you. Just don't let people know what you're doing. Just pray, talk to the Creator in your mind while you're not eating and stuff. Do what you're doing, but people don't have to know your business because it's in here. Talk to the Creator, speak to Him, praise Him, thank Him for all you have done, what you've been, and just ask Him to lead and guide you. Lead and guide you, and then to say, before you open the book, pray and say, Father, allow me to see what you want me to see in the book, and allow me to retain what you want me to know in the book. No matter whether it's good, new or Old Testament, New Testament, whatever. Just tell them to open your eyes to what it is you want them to see. He wants you to see. Open up and start reading from that point. But what I will tell you is this, according to the law, what I will share with you is this. We are not to worship anything, anybody, no thing. The first commandment is thou shalt have no other gods before me. That's no thing. The second commandment, if people don't even realize, it says, thou should not bow down thyself to worship anything, any figure, or any likeness of anything. That means nothing. Any likeness of anything in heaven above, earth beneath, or waters under the earth. That means nothing. A lot of people is worshiping Jesus, Yeshua, Emmanuel, Prophet Muhammad, Buddha, and everybody else. And the Creator said, have no other God. When the person says they pray to the Creator, and then when they end their prayer, they say in somebody's name, something's name. They just broke the whole prayer. Why? You just put there whatever name you did, you just put it in front of the Creator. And if you don't believe me, when you read Deuteronomy 18, verse 18 to 20, 18, 19, and 20, when you see it says, in my name. That's a key that people don't realize. He said, when a prophet prophesies to you, let me get it for you. I'm sorry. I have to get it because I don't want to just put it out there. Let me read it. 18 to 20. Deuteronomy chapter 18. I'm going to give it to you because this is what people fail to realize. And they're being taught amiss by the preachers in the churches today. Let me give it to you. I'm just going to go straight to it. Verse 18. I'll start at 17 through 20. All right. It says, and Yah said unto me, and the Lord, I'm saying Lord, but it says, and Yah, which is the Creator, said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have spoken. The people asked for a prophet, but verse 18 is this. This is the Creator talking. This is why I be trying to get people to understand when the Creator is speaking. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, talking about Moses, like unto thee, which is Moses, and will put my words in his mouth. The Creator going to put his words in the prophet's mouth, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And verse 19 says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my word, this is the Creator's words, unto my words, which he shall speak. The key is in my name, which he shall speak in my name, I will require of him. So when they say, thus saith the Lord, thus saith Yah, thus saith God, when the Creator speaking, whenever it says that, that's the Creator speaking. Just like right here when it says, and I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren. The Creator is speaking. Again, and it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my word, this is the Creator, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. Verse 20 and last verse, just to give you understanding. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name. See, it's specifically saying in his name, which I have not commanded him to speak, which is a false prophet. He ain't speaking what the Creator said speak, because the Creator ain't tell him. Or that shall speak in the name of other gods. When they say in the name of Jesus, in the name of Yeshua, in the name of Emmanuel, in the name of Prophet Muhammad, in the name of whoever, Buddha, in the name of Farrakhan, they have just made that, put another God in front of the Creator. And I'm just letting you know that firsthand according to the word. Even that prophet shall die, right? So you can read the rest of that in Deuteronomy 18, starting at verse 15 through 22, to have a better understanding. But you have to look at what the words are saying. Remember, I said spelling. These are spells either for good or for evil. So that's what, and so that was the question that I seen came up down here. It was a question: how much goodness does it take in your soul to kill an infidel? And all I can say is, all I can tell you now. Somebody else can tell you something else. I'm giving you with the word of the Creator. The Creator words is to kill an infidel, and whatever an infidel is, because an infidel could be just someone who's negative. I can't say what an infidel is because I can't research it. Okay, let me give you this real quick. I'm gonna give you to you from what I have in my at my disposal at the moment. All my other information. I mean, all my other devices are occupied. So an infidel. Let me look up this real quick. An infidel in the I'm gonna give it to you out of the Black's Law Dictionary. Let's see what we got. See what we got here. All right, let's see if we can find infidel in here. Come on. Infacto, infacile, infamilia, infamous. Well, infamous. I don't have infidel in here. Make sure I'm reading it correctly. INFID. And I don't have infamous, infancy. There you go, right here. Infidel. Got you. Just mark it right here for me real quick. Infidel, one who does not believe in the existence of a God. Okay. There go your answer right there in Black's Law Dictionary. Infidel, one who does not believe in the existence of a God who will reward or punish in this world or in that which is to come. One who does not believe in the existence of a deity, of a God, of a creator, who will reward or punish in this world or in that which is to come. One who professes no religion can bind his consciousness to speak the truth. One who does not recognize the inspiration or obligation of the Holy Scriptures. Oh man, we have a lot of those, don't we? One who does not recognize the inspiration or obligation of the Holy Scriptures, or generally recognized features of the Christian religion. So you know something? Let me share something with you. It says Christian religion here, but let me share something with you, and this is a key that a lot of people don't realize. Christianity wasn't revealed or really made up until Antioch, according to the Roman Empire. They was calling them Christians. They was calling them Christians as a demeanor, and then Christianity became a religion because they ain't start calling the Christian until Antioch, right? So the Creator never gave a Christianity. The Creator only gave His laws, statutes, and judgment. The world, excuse me, the world, which is the Roman Empire and the rest of the world, came up with religion. The Creator, the Almighty, never gave a religion. He only gave His laws, statutes, and judgments. Everything else is blasphemy of the Creator's laws, statutes, and judgments. So, even though they have here in the Black's Law Dictionary at the end of this, or generally recognizes features of the Christian religion, the Creator never gave a Christian religion. The Creator only gave His laws, statutes, and judgments. If you go back to when the Creator spoke, He only spoke to Moses when He gave the laws. And the laws is the 10 Commandments and everything in the word of Yahweh. When the Creator spoke, when He said, in the name of the Creator, as I was just sharing with you, thank you for giving me that, though. That's greatly, and that's good. I hope people can get an understanding of that. If people can understand what an infidel, now I know definitely what an infidel is. An infidel is someone who don't believe in the scriptures, the Creator, the Almighty. They don't believe in a heaven or don't believe in none of that. What some people call atheists. So an infidel is what some people call an atheist, but these are people who don't believe in the Creator or the Spirit or anything of spirituality. I'll put it like that. So I hope that was the answer to that question. But anyone, you can't kill nobody. Say, how much goodness does it take in your soul to kill an infidel? You don't have to kill an infidel. The Creator gonna do that. You ain't gotta worry about that. Long as you are good, long as you're keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes and doing the best you can in what you come to understand. Ask the Creator to keep leading and guiding you, then you will come to the understanding you will need to know that the Creator has for you, because everybody has a different purpose in this earth. Everyone have a different purpose. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have the same purpose. Some people have a purpose to do certain things. Some people have a job or a purpose to do with it. My purpose is to do what I'm doing right now, sharing with you, and I come to know that by what I went through spiritually. This is now I can tell you about the last spiritual encounter, which is a supernatural encounter. Now, this was a demonic encounter, all right? This wasn't demonic. I still didn't see it, but I heard this one. The last one I just shared with you was a demonic encounter, but it was a spiritually demonic encounter because it wasn't speaking with an evil voice. It was just the voice of the young man, and he was speaking, and then it was that spirit was talking about what was put on that young man's family from eons ago. I'm just telling you what was told to us through the Spirit at that time. So these are spiritual experiences that I went through. May have not talked about them, but it was asked of me tonight in part 1. So that's why I'm sharing this point right here in part 2. So now the second spiritual experience is this, which is a demonic experience. This is in the time I went to go get index, right? Let me see, how should I say this? A friend of mine in 2015. Friend of mine, 2015. I was making, now I made it back to Detroit in 2014. Now I'm traveling back and forth from Detroit to Atlanta, doing some things, seeing friends and things like that, and getting my product from Atlanta. And I was going back and forth at least every 2 or 3 months. I was going back and forth from Detroit to Atlanta and back and forth, right? So, friend of mine named Edwin, he was telling me about getting index, about getting, man, this index and this and that, whatever about indexing. I'm like, oh, okay, didn't really take too much to heart at the time. So this was like around November, December of 2015. right? Now, like I said, I was already made it back to Detroit at the end of 2014. Now, this is around a year later. I'd made it back to I'm visiting a friend of mine that finally got indexed. He was really into the Moorish way at the time, who I was staying with. But the way of the Moors at the time. But he ended up getting indexed a few years later. I finally got him to understand some things, and he's really strong in it as well. But long story short, or back to the story. Um, Brother named Ed was telling me about getting indexed. So this was in 2015, around November, December. I come back home. He's still calling me off time and time. Yeah, about the index, man, you ought to get indexed and this and that and this and that. I'm like, okay, I'm checking it out. So now this sister here in Detroit, name was, they called her Queen Mother. She was a Queen Mother. She rest her soul now, rest in peace. Now I got to know a few people here in Detroit at the time, and around a little community around here at the time. So now I happened to run into Queen Mother around January of 2016. And she ended up telling me, "Oh, I just come back from getting indexed and this and that." And she telling about the experience when she went to go get indexed out of Dallas, Texas. I'm like, okay, now this is beginning to hit me now. I'm like, okay, I like confirmation. I like confirmation, right? I'm giving you the last spiritual experiences before I go, since this one just hit me. But I like confirmation. Confirmation hit me on that as well. So now this one is demonic. The last one wasn't. The last one was spiritual that I'm going to tell you about. But so she told me about going to get indexed in Dallas, Texas. I said, okay. So now I'm really curious about this indexing that this brother Edwin was telling me about. So now I'm looking up. Everything came smooth. Got me a plane ticket. Never really got my own plane ticket before. Got me a plane ticket. Came easy. Booked a hotel room. Everything just smooth. Right. I seen how easy it was. So it was meant for to happen for me. Right. So now, booked my plane ticket for Dallas, Georgia. Booked my date for my index and everything. Came on out there. So now this is around the last point of February. Oh, my hands beginning to itch. The last part of February. Went out there, met as everybody. If you index, you already know Shelly Bowling. I met her. Made a lot of friends out there. Got a lot of numbers. Got a lot of pictures and things like that. I always try to get to know people wherever I go. I always try to get numbers. I try to take pictures and stuff like that. Make friends. I try to know people everywhere I go. So went out there. First day was good. I introduced everybody to the alkaline water. I always bring my machine, made alkaline water, put it in a thing for everybody to get alkaline water and things like that. Didn't have the teas on me at the time, but I brought water with me. So we out there drinking water, and everybody get, I'm just fellowshipping everybody. We all get indexed. So that night, that next following night, or that night, um, um, after being indexed, Dr. Henderson came up to our room. It's about maybe six to 12 of us in the room, plus the people he brought up in. He had about 2 or 3 people come in with him. He had like a mask on his face, but he came into the room. We all had like about maybe a 2-hour conversation. Great conversation, got to know each other, sitting down talking about scriptures and this and that about the Bible and stuff like that. We had a nice conversation. And he left. Now Dallas is about maybe 2 hours behind us. And now at this time I'm in Dallas, and this is around about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So if it's 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning at the time I'm here in Dallas, this sister who I ended up meeting months back, I was drawn to her. I seen her. I was at a Walmart, and if y'all know, I met her at a Walmart over here on 8 Mile, not Walmart, Myers, on 8 Mile and Woodward. And I met her at this, I happened to walk past, seen her, but kept walking. Ended up going around, and she was at the same spot, and I walked back around, she was still standing there. So we had like a small conversation. Don't know the draw. Don't know what was the connection or whatever. But I saw her, and we talked for a minute. She saying, well, she don't really drink, but she getting some liquor and whatever, and because you can get liquor at Myers. So she was getting some liquor, and we just talked for a minute. And me, I always just make friends. You know what I'm saying? Every time I see somebody, I'm not trying to talk to them. I talk to them, hey, how you doing? Just to get to know people. So we ended up switching numbers. And now we talked for a minute, just conversation. And we switched numbers. And that was before I went to Dallas, Texas, before that was before the indexing when I met her. You know, maybe a month, 2 months. I don't remember how long it was, but I ended up just meeting and just having conversation. And I got a lot of numbers in my phone. So like I said, I meet people all the time. So like I said, now back to the story. And now we're in Dallas, Texas. We got after the indexing and everything, right? So now, well, I wish I had a phone here to share with y'all. Like my other phone is downstairs, but I'm gonna share with y'all. Let me see what I'm use. I'll use this right here as my well, just as a phone. If I use my case, my glass case. So we all having like about a 2 hour conversation up in the room. Like I said, it's like about 2 something in the morning our time. And if it's 2 something our time, it's at least about 3 or 4. 1 or 2 something, so about 3 or 4 in Detroit time, because Detroit is ahead of Dallas, I believe, in about 2 hours. So this lady called me, and I'm surprised she calling me this late her time. As far as it's either 11, 12 our time, and it's 1 or 2 her time. No matter what, it's still late for her to call me, and we ain't seen each other like that. So she called me around about 1 or 2 o'clock her time, or 3 or 4, something like that, whatever it is. The whole point is it was late, far as I'm concerned, for her or this woman to be calling me, and we not seeing each other like that. We not talking like that. So, but she called me. She just having a conversation, and I said, okay. I went out in the hallway to have a conversation with this sister. You know, after Dr. Henderson and the people left, after about 2 hour conversation, and it was kind of odd. It was like he left. Okay, about 15, no longer than 10 to 20 minutes later, that's when she get the call. I get the call. Me and her, okay. I got my cell phone. We all in the room. We having conversation after Dr. Henson leaves. So it's like she needed to talk to me about something. So I was like, okay. So I'm talking. So I go out. They are talking. So I go out in the hallway. So I go out in the hallway. I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm having a conversation with her, right? And we having a conversation for like about 10, 15 minutes. Next thing you know, the voice starts to change. I'm like, I'm doing like this. Like, hello? Now I'm getting chills now. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, now I'm starting to record it. I don't know if something, I push record. So I go into the room, and this brother named Paul, he was one of the disciples at the time, you know. This brother named Paul, me, him, and I said, y'all listen to this. I pushed the speaker, and excuse me, I said, I don't know what's going on. I'm telling him, I don't know what's going on. You know, you start talking like this. Next thing you know, Paul got on there. He's supposed to be a disciple. He started talking. And I mean, he was talking at first, then he's talking to the spirit, whatever that was, the spirit through the woman, and they talking back and forth. They going back and forth, and everybody else just looking, right? Now it's being recorded, right? So he talking, next thing you know, the spirit leave the body. So next thing she's coming back to talking again. So me and her, we get to talking. So I'm like, okay, this and that. I think I go out in the hallway, and I don't know about when. I don't remember I went out in the hallway again or not. I thought I stepped back out there, but I may have and I may not. But the point is, she's like, I feel better. I feel better. I feel light. I feel light. This is what she was saying. I feel light. I feel good. I feel better. Then the next thing she said, why is the room so dark? It's dark here. You know, my TV was on, and the light I only had in the room that was on with the TV. The TV seemed like it's real dark. Then she screamed, ah! She screamed, said, I see these red eyes looking at me. She said, these red eyes is looking at me. And then we said, well, what's going on? Well, it looked like it was like something over the TV, like a film, a black film that she mentioned was over the TV. Then she said she looked up in the corner, she seen these red eyes looking at her, and she screamed, ah! The next thing you know, after she screamed, yeah, these eyes are looking at me. It's looking at me. And then the next thing you know, she started going back to that. I'm like, man, I'm like, whoa, it's shocking me. First time ever. This is a supernatural experience over the phone. So, whew, man, just talking about it now, just bringing back memories. So Paul gotten up talking, whatever. They start talking again. I don't know what it was. I don't know. All I know is this brother named Paul happened to be there. He's supposed to be a disciple of Dr. Henderson, cousin or something like that. I don't know, but all of a sudden he talked to her again, and I think it left again, and it was just a mirror. All I could say was it was an experience, but I did record it. So, and I had it in my phone, right? I had the recording in my phone. I had to prove somebody one day about the situation, and I'm gonna tell you what happened. I'm glad someone asked the situation. Have I ever had a supernatural or a demonic experience in part one? I'm glad they asked me that. So I'm having this story right now because I wouldn't have thought about sharing this, but I'm glad it came up just for future references. After that, I think that happened twice, and then I think it left her body or what have you. And I don't remember. I think the phone ended up hanging up. I don't remember what happened after that. I can't remember what happened after that. All I know is there was an experience when brother spoke to the demonic spirit that was in this woman. Whatever happened that day, I think it happened twice, and then it's dissipated. But I did have it. I had it recorded on the phone, over the phone though. So what ended up happening was, stayed there. I didn't talk to the woman no more. I really hadn't talked to her no more. One time after I got back home, but I'm gonna tell you what happened. So now I stayed there throughout the rest of the weekend for the indexing. Like I said, it was the end of February in 2016. Stayed there for the rest of the indexing. Came home on my way home. It was like all the knowledge that I've been trying to learn about the system, about being mainly about the stuff that I've come to learn today. It kind of just flooded my mind because back in the day when I was trying to learn it and had these classes and stuff, it was hard for me to catch. But after I left there, it was like an anointing. When I left from being indexed, when I was on my way back home, and when I got to, I was like at the airport, it was like I'm talking to certain people. And I'm telling them I actually did a post called I did a post on Facebook and on Instagram called "You Are a Product." I call it "You Are a Product." I did that, and it's way down my line on my Instagram, way near the first part of it. I had all white on, and I called it "You Are a Product." I think on Instagram I had to do about 4 or 5 parts because I did them in shorts. But my Facebook, that was on my first 2 ones that they gone. But it is on my Instagram. It is on my Instagram. It's called "You Are a Product," and I remember I did that. So, but other than that. I think about 2 or 3 months later, or it wasn't weeks. It was about a month or 2 later. I happened to be, I think I was over my auntie house, and the woman ended up calling me again. Now, she wanted me to come over. Now I'm cautious now. She wants me to come over to her house. She said that I think she was drinking. I don't know if it was a spirit of having on her about drinking or something like that, but she was drinking a lot more at this time, or she was drinking at this time. And I think it was the spirit talking to me through her voice, trying to get me over there to her house. Because she's telling me, or whatever. But the whole point is, she was telling me that as long as she'd been at the house she was at, she'd seen over her door 666 or something like that over her, some number. It was 166 or 16111, something 616 or 6, some type of number. She never seen over her door before, but it's over her door now. It's first, as long as she been there, she never saw it. And she wanted me to just come over there or what have you. So I'm nervous, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying about demonic spirits and nothing like that. I don't know what to do. I know that I've been anointed by the Creator. I know what has happened to me when I was in Europe, and the things that the Creator has allowed me to come to know and build on in this day and time, and keep my promise with the Creator with what I've been doing. So these encounters, I don't know what they mean. You know what I'm saying? So, but with this situation, like I said, when she called and me and her talking one day, um, and then after I talked to her, I got to her and I called Shelly for index and told her about the situation. She said, "Well, I wouldn't go over there." She said, "Well, I don't know, She said, "Well, if I was you, I wouldn't go because that spirit may be trying to trap you." I said, "You might be right. I don't know." Shelly Bolin is one. She's the administrator for the indexing, for Dr. Henderson. So I said, well, then from that point, I never talked to her again. I might still have her number for, I don't know. But the point is, I never talked to her again. No, I don't get rid of numbers easily. Believe me, if I got your number and if I got rid of it, you had to do something for me to really say, I ain't messing with that person no more. If I delete your number from my phone, if I switch phones and it don't go off automatically, if I delete a person's number from my phone, you really did something. I'm just gonna say, piss me off for me not to deal with you anymore. So if I got your number, and if I gave you my number, I still got the same number. I had my number over 20 something years, 20 plus years. I'm gonna say that. So, but the point I'm getting at is that her number might still be in my phone. I think I still remember the person's name too, but it is what it is. My main thing, I stand firm until the Creator gets me to do certain things. Creator may give me the power to do certain things at a certain time to help people. I don't know. So I just know I hold on to stuff that I need until whatever is needed. So when the Creator allows me to do the things that's needed, it is, but I never got back in contact with that person, have never talked back to him. I'm telling you the experience according to what was asked of me earlier. Now, that is what has happened in my past. Now, before coming back, last but not least, I'm giving you the last part. Remember, I told you I was going to give you one last other one. The last experience, spiritual experience I had. I was on getting out. Let me start it like this. In 2014, right around August, a little bit after August 2014, a friend of mine named Akashi, right? Her name was Akashi. She was in Detroit. I was in Atlanta. I had my own place. Y'all may have seen me doing dancing routines and stuff and what have you in my front room. And she called me from Detroit. Me and her had a conversation. Her name was Akashi, right? And she said, Juice, she said, Juice, you need to be in Detroit. They need your water up here. I said, huh? Said, yeah, they need your water up here in Detroit. I said, well, I come to Detroit from time to time because I was traveling back and forth from time to time to Detroit at this time, every so often. Yeah, but they need your water up here. And I think I was, no, I think I was in Detroit earlier that year, 2000, when was that? 2014. I may have been up there earlier that year or the year before. But, she said, they need your water up here in Detroit. They need your water up here. I said, okay, well, I'll think about it. I'll check on it. So at this time now, I said, okay. But she had shared something with me more like she kind of shared something with me when I got with my last lady, Akashi that is. And she told me the type of lady I was going to end up getting with. The one I got with was the one that she kind of described. Her name was Tanisha, my last lady before I came back to Detroit, the last lady I had. Well, actually, I was with her and Desiree, I had two women at the time, and they knew it. I wasn't cheating. They both knew it, at the time. So, I had two women. One was in Alabama, the other one was in Atlanta. And the one in Atlanta, she didn't mind me leaving because she understood that this was a polygamous relationship at the time. So, I would go visit Desiree, and see her, and then I'll come back and I'll be in Atlanta. And me and Me and Tanisha were staying together. But at this time, me and Tanisha had separated. And so at this time, me and Tanisha had separated. So now I got my own place, and I'm here. I brought her in for a reason. I don't know why I brought that up. But the point is that Akashi ended up calling me in 2014, and we had a conversation. She was here in Detroit. And she would tell me that they need your water up in Detroit. They need at that time. I had been coming up here since 2008, 2008 up until that time, and they hadn't had alkaline water in Detroit, right? So I was coming back and forth, and I always take my machine with me. So at this time, no, she called me around the late August. 'Cause my Earth Day is in August, and it's always around this time in August. Something happens around a certain time after my Earth Day. But like I said, she called me, told me about coming to Detroit, and I said, okay, I'll check on it. Made plans. I said, okay, let me think about it. Since she's telling me that, because she shares. That's why I brought it up. Because she shared something with me before, and that is how me and Tanisha ended up coming together, getting together. So when she told me that, I said, okay, let me make plans to go visit. Now she was talking about she didn't come up there to move, and I told her that was my home. But I was thinking about going to visit because I was always going back and forth to Detroit. So I called my daughter up later on, within the month or the following month, and told her about coming up there to visit. Right, coming up there to visit. Right. Now I don't know about living, but I was talking about visiting at the time. My oldest daughter, and she said, "Okay, yeah." So I said, "Okay," because she had her own place. So now it's coming to now we're in the end of October, the beginning of November of 2014. So like I said, I had my own place. So now I had dance practice and stuff. Then me and some friends would play cards or dominoes, what have you, at my place. So one of the brothers named Netter, right? Now he was going through what I went through in Atlanta, in Germany. He was going through his spiritual experiences, right? So, but he would go be around us, and me, him, and my brother Maurice Harris. Him and Maurice was hanging at the time. They would come over to my crib, my house, and then sometime me and Asante, one of my dancers, we all would sit down, play cards or domino. I think Asante had left, and it was just me, Maurice, and Netter there, right? So we at the house now. Now this is in, like I said, around the end of October, beginning of November. So now now at this time he's in the spirit. He said, "Wait a minute now." The spirit just came on him. He just started and he just started speaking to me. Wait a minute. How many children do you have? How many? I said, "Well, I have 6 children. I have 6 children." So how many? I said, "I have 2 boys and 2 girls." He said, "How many girls you have?" I said, "I got 2 girls." He said, "Where do the girls stay?" I said, "I got 2 in Detroit and I got 1 in California." He said, "The girls in Detroit is all right. The one in California needs you." He said, hold, wait a minute, wait. No, the one in California, she gonna be all right. Your daughters in Detroit, they need you, right? These are my 2 oldest girls. He said, your daughters in Detroit, they need you. He said, the one in California, she gonna be all right. And I said, oh, okay. Then he said, the woman you're gonna meet her in Detroit, and she gonna be with you. He said, the woman you're gonna meet her in Detroit, and she's gonna be with you. And the last thing he told me, he said, God got big plans for you. Now, this is the second time that was told to me. The first time it was told to me in a vision when I was in Mississippi in 2000. I keep saying 2000. In 98. In 98, it was a vision that was showed to me. And the first thing in the vision, a prophetess told me. A prophecy, this happened spiritually, mentally, and physically, that was told to me 3 times. Spiritually, it happened to me. That's why I know who I am and about what I'm doing right now. Spiritually, it happened to me in a vision, vision in a dream. Physically, mentally, should I say, mentally, he's talking to me mentally as he's speaking to me right then and there. He's telling me, God got big plans for you. That's the second time that was told to me. But the 2 things I've said before that, was my daughters needed me, and then The woman you're going to meet her in Detroit and she's going to be with you. The third one, excuse me, was the confirmation of what was said in 98. God got big plans for you. Next thing you know, I come to Detroit, got myself together. No, what it was is, then I made plans. After he told me that, then I made plans to move to Detroit then. When he told me that, that was my confirmation to what Akashi told me in August. That was my confirmation. So after the confirmation, I said, okay, now I'm going to move. Now I started putting stuff, now I'm putting my stuff in storage. I'm giving stuff away, just getting myself ready to make myself come to the... Now, my daughter didn't know I was moving. She knew I was coming to visit for about a month. Now, in my mind, I was a server at the time. I didn't finish telling y'all about the story. Just thought about it. About the demonic spirit. I'm going to go back to that as soon as I get done with this. So now I told my daughter that I was coming back for a month. Now I was a server. This put me back in mind of the story, the finishing of the demonic story that I told you I had to prove it to someone, right? But I'm gonna get back to that. I'm gonna finish it up with that since I ain't got right here that brought me back to that. I was a server, so I know that I can jump. You can be a server anywhere you go. You can get with a company that serve food, the banquet serving that is. So I can get on like that. So when I got back to Detroit, moved with my daughter, I thought that within a month's time that I was gonna make enough money to get my own place. It wasn't like that. Took a few years, but I moved with my daughter. I was with her for a little while. Moved with my cousin, then my auntie. Then went and got index. Then came back with my auntie. Then ended up getting my own place before meeting the woman. That's another story. This don't have nothing with the supernatural situation. But ended up meeting the woman that I got. She is the one that I'm with me. She's the woman that's gonna be with me and that's with me. And I know that. I know that everything that was told to me is spiritually and is true. So now, making it back here, home. Now, as I'm telling you, after 2000, after the incident in 2016 with being indexed. Now, this is around 16. This may be around in the same year, 2016 or 2017. Early 2017 or later on in 2016. It's a friend of mine. We still friends today. We was banquet serving. This was brought me back to this. We was banquet serving, right? Same one, man. I told you about this, about the situation about the negative spirit and everything, and then the recording. We was banquet serving at a place. It was a lot of us on break. And they kept doing a lot of talking, all this and that. And they was talking about spirituality and creator and demonic spirits and this and that. I said, I can prove to y'all about a demonic spirit, right? I said, I can prove it to you. Oh, they was just joking and laughing or whatever. I said, y'all don't believe me? They was just joking and talking. And this one friend of mine that's still friends with me today, we talk every so often. She's a female, but she's just a friend, But the point is that I played it for her and everybody around. When they heard that recording, you should have seen how they looked. They all got scared. Oh, cut that off. When they heard it, and that was my proof. That was my proof. I'm glad I had the recording for it. But I forgot how they got in the conversation, but I'm not going to say the sister's name, but she know who I'm talking about. And the ones that was there know who I'm talking about and what I'm talking about. So I'm going to tell you, it's a lot of things going on in the earth today. A lot of things that is happening. My key is get close to the Creator, start learning the law, start fasting and praying and talking to the Creator, ask Him to lead and guide you. Turn towards the law, turn to the Creator's word, and do His will. Turn to the Creator's laws, do His word, do His will, and He will protect you. He's waiting for us to turn back to Him. And just to let you have understanding on that before we go, Deuteronomy chapter 30 gives you that understanding. Let me give it to you real quick before we go. Deuteronomy 30 tells you, and this is His word. A lot of people don't realize it. He tells you when these things come to pass, when these things happen. So he's telling you that these things are going to happen. It all depends on where you are and what you decide to do and be. Deuteronomy chapter 30. I end up going through the whole thing, but I want to just give you the main key. Deuteronomy 30 says the conditions for restoration and blessings. Right? This is your conditions. But before I go to 30, let me go one verse before 30. It says, the secret thing, this is Deuteronomy 29:29. Deuteronomy 29:29. The secret things belong unto Yah our Father, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. You see that? That we may do all the words of this law. And then we go into chapter 30, the conditions for restoration and blessings. Now, these are your conditions. It's up to you to do them or not to. And this is Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse. The blessing, it said be less, so I don't say be less. The blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee. See, the Creator set them up. Which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind. You're going to bring them back to mind. All the things that the Creator has set before you. Among all the nations. Call them to mind among all the nations, whether Yah has driven thee. Verse 2. And shall return. He's looking for us to return. This is where we are at this time. And shall return unto Yah thy Father, and shall obey his voice. That's the key. Obeying the voice of the Father. When the prophets speak in my name, as I shared earlier, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, means you and your children, with all thine heart and with all thy soul. That means you start to read, study, and turn to him with all your heart and all your soul. 3. That then Yah thy Father will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee. He's going to turn your captivity because you've turned to him with all your heart and all your soul. And will return and gather thee from all the nations, whether Yah thy Father have scattered thee. That means he's going to turn you back to your own estate, who you are. You can be anywhere in the world, but he's going to turn you to who you are. And he's going to gather you. He's going to gather us together to start learning who we are, because we're going to be set up all over the world. We're going to be a kingdom of priests all over the world. That's in Exodus 19, 5 and 6. But verse 4, if any of thine be driven out unto the outermost parts of heaven, anywhere in the earth, from thence will Yah thy Father gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. He's going to get you from wherever you are. 5. And Yah thy Father will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed. And thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy father. He's going to multiply us above where our fathers and ancestors was. 6. And Yah thy Father will circumcise thy heart. He's going to circumcise your heart and the heart of our seed. That means our children. To love Yah our Father with all thine heart and with all thy soul, and with that thou mayest live, that we may live in his law, in his ways, and in his statutes. And Yah thy Father will put all these curses. You see this? He'll put all these curses upon our enemies and on them that hate us, which persecute us, which is against us. 8. And thou shalt return and obey the voice of Yah, and do all the commandments which I command thee this day. All the commandments he commanded us, we're going to do them. 9. And Yah thy Father will make thee plenteous in every work of thine hand, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy land, for good. For Yah will again rejoice over thee for good, as he rejoiced over our fathers. Right? 10. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice, you see that? That's your key. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yah thy Father, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which are written in this book of the law. That's all he tell us to do. Keep the commandments, which is in the book of the law. And if thou turn unto Yah thy Father with all thine heart and with all thy soul, for this commandment which I command thee this day is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. It's not far from you because it's right here in your face. Verse 12. It is not in heaven that thou shouldest say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it. 13. Neither is it beyond the sea that thou shouldest say, who shall go over the sea for us and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it. 14. But the word is very nigh, which is near unto thee, in thy mouth and in thy heart. It's in your mouth and in your heart. It's already a part of you, really. That thou may do it. 15. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil. Life and good, death and evil is what? In the commandments and in the law. 16. In that I command thee this day to love Yah thy Father, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply, mean have children. We may live and we may multiply. And Yah thy Father shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it. And even though not only our land, whatever land we're in to possess, he's going to bless us there. But, verse 17, the but is coming up. But if thine heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but shall be drawn away and worship other deities. Who's those other deities? The deities of the day is your Jesus, Yeshua, Emmanuel, Prophet Muhammad, Buddha, and any other deity that you say in their name besides the Creator is your God. Worship other gods and serve them. Again, verse 17. But if thine heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but shall be drawn away and worship other deities, gods, and serve them. 18. I denounce unto you this day that ye which is you shall surely perish, and that ye which is you shall not prolong your days upon the land. What land? Whatever land you step your foot on. Because we're supposed to keep the commandments everywhere we go throughout the earth. Whether thou go to possess over Jordan, to go to possess it. He was telling them at that time, and he's talking about today. 19. I call heaven, this is a proclamation, whether y'all understand it or not. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore, as my statement or my logo, choose life. Again, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore, choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. Choose life. Choose the Lord. Choose the voice of Yah. 20 and last verse. That thou mayest love Yah thy Father, and that thou mayest obey his voice, and that thou mayest cleave unto him, for he is thy life and the length of thy days, that thou mayest dwell in the land which Yah sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them. This is the ending of the word tonight. I ended with Deuteronomy chapter 30. I hope some of the information that has happened to me, with me, of the supernatural has given you some information, insight, and things that's going on in this earth today. Get close to the Creator, start keeping His ways, His words, and His laws and His statutes, and do His will. This is all the Creator asks. And this is and He just heard His proclamation to us. So the time is coming where all this stuff have came to pass, and now is our time to turn back to Him. Other than that, I just want to share with you, by sharing with me that y'all got big plans for me, that I am that Mikael in Daniel chapter 12, verses 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's me. Showing the holy people who they're really supposed to be. Waking them out of their dead beds, which is really in their heads. For all of you who's living in the new, this is for you. I'm the same Mikael in Revelations 12, battling that red dragon where Satan dwell, who deceiveth the whole world but prevaileth not, because the horn is blown without a doubt. This was prophesied for you to see that Mikael is really me. Other than that, I thank y'all for your time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing eye, and we're going to end it with the benediction. But just before we go to the benediction, let me make sure I got everybody here on, like I don't have anybody on Facebook. There were ones there. Malcolm Bowles was the only one that came here on Instagram. But again, let me go over here over the things that were said. J Money 2016 said hi. Greetings, J Money. Burning Spice Cookie says hi. How you doing, Burning Spice Cookie? Portion 75 is the one who asks, how much goodness does it take in your soul to kill an infidel? All I can say is the infidel is someone who don't believe, so you don't have to do anything. The Creator's going to do the work. I shared that with you in the Black's Law out of Black Law Dictionary. Also, we got Portion 75 again says, sorry, wrong answer. Have a nice life. Okay, well, wrong answer to you. Whatever your answer is your answer. You asked me a question, I gave you what I knew. All right. So everybody tends to think that they know so much. We all go through certain things in life. And you know something? I bet their answer came from somebody else. Somebody always getting an answer from somebody else and thinking that that's the gospel truth. I just read information and I gave you what I've come to know. Everything isn't the same for everybody. So have a nice life. Portion 75. Other than that, we're gonna go with the benediction. And here we go. This is Numbers chapter 6, verse 22 through 27. And here we go. This is the benediction. And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, on this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, Yah bless thee and keep thee. Yah make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yah lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And they shall put Yah's name upon the children of Israel, which is his law, and Yah will bless them. I'm going to do the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shegevot, Vakuto V'olam, Va'ed, Hallelujah. Hear, O Israel, Yah our Father is one Father. Blessed be thy glorious kingdom forever and ever. Hallelujah. Thank you, Father, for this reading of your word. Thank you for the spirit that you have given, you've shared, and that we may endure and that we may grow into doing your will, doing your way. We bless you, praise you, and thank you for all you've done for us in this day and time. We ask you to keep your countenance and your peace upon us at all times. In your holy word we pray. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Praise you, Almighty. Now, just to let everyone know, I'm gonna start everything off with this real quick. In the scriptures, it talks of us to come out of Babylon, come out of her, my people, that we may not be upon her plagues. Um, I've come to know situations that we need to grow out of and come out of in order to come out of this system. And we've put in this system by paperwork, and it's the same thing going to take us out. All right. So I just wanted to share with you. If you're interested in obtaining and coming on to our private Zoom, which is on Tuesday mornings at 7:30 a.m. and the night after Tuesday at 9 p.m., it's called Introduction to Solving Class of Knowledge. It's called Introduction to Solving Class of Knowledge. And what I would do is, excuse me, you would text me your name, number, and email. Text me your name, number, and email at 770-572-5315. Again, that's 770. Excuse me. Y'all see every time I get done and get ready to go how this comes about. 770-572-5315. Text me your name, number, and email, and also put in there you want to know more about the Sovereign Class of Knowledge or the Sovereign Class. Text me that, and what I would do is take your email, put into my Google Calendar, and then when I put in my Google Calendar, it's going to come up in your email. You will accept the dates from Lkhyym at email, Lkhyym at Gmail. You will accept those dates, and then you will be in the email, and that way I'll know who you are when you join the class. Because Zoom only is on Tuesdays at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time and 9 p.m. after Tuesday, which is the night after Tuesday, at 9 p.m. So again, that number again is 770-572-5315. Now my email, you can always email me at lkhyym@gmail.com. That's lkhyym@gmail.com. And also, if you wanted to check out my public platforms, the public platforms are, well, the first ones are my YouTube, one of my YouTubes, and my X, formerly known as Twitter. That's X, formerly known as Twitter, and also my main YouTube is Juice Pro 33, which is spelled JUICEPRO 33. Again, that's spelled JUICEPRO 33. All together, one word. Please like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget that's X, formerly known as Twitter, as well as my main YouTube. Also, we're on Facebook. We're on Facebook at Michael Harris, which is spelled MI''CHAEL space HARRIS. Again, that's MI''CHAEL space HARRIS. That's Facebook, Michael Harris. And also, you can catch us on TikTok, well, one of my TikToks and my Instagram. One of my TikToks and my Instagram is under Lkhyym_the Juice, which is spelled LKHYYM_THEJUICE. Again, that's LKHYYM_THEJUICE. That's one of my TikToks and my Instagram at that. And one of my TikToks and one of my upcoming or newest YouTubes, one of my TikToks and one of my newest YouTube is you put in Michael the Juice Harris, which is spelled MICHAELTHEJUICEHARRIS. Again, that's MICHAELTHEJUICEHARRIS. Harris. That's one of my TikToks and my other YouTube that I have. Now, last but not least, I have Patreon for my full version, which is on my Patreon and also Rumble, which are both of them are rumble.com and patreon.com/LKHYYM. Again, that's patreon.com and rumble.com/LKHYYM. Now my YouTube, now the nights of my Zoom, should I say. The nights for my Zoom, are, you can say, Sunday, the night after Sunday at 9 p.m., which is Fight Fire with Truth, which is open conversation at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The night after Monday, which is Mikhail's Knowledge of Truth at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That's night after Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Mikhail's Knowledge of Truth. And as I shared with you at the beginning of this conversation, 7 a.m. on Tuesday and night after Tuesday at 9 p.m., we have Introduction to Sovereign Class of Knowledge, which is Zoom only because it's private. You have to connect with me first in order to get in by texting me your name, number, and email and say you want to know more about the sovereign classes. All right? And last but not least, we have on the Sabbath day at 12 p.m. noon Eastern Time, 12 p.m. noon, we have Assembly of the Righteous. This is the Assembly of the Righteous, when the righteous come together on the Sabbath to go through the word of of Almighty Yah, which is the Creator. Other than that, I'd like to thank y'all for your time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing eye. I appreciate love y'all. I thank y'all. And since Zoom is the longest, the full version, I'd like to thank you first and say goodbye to you first and appreciate love you. See you soon and always. Peace. See you Zoom and everyone on the full video. Peace.
Recording stopped.
All right. And make sure you go. All right. Now, for Instagram, no, should I say Facebook? There we go. Now for Facebook, I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Let me see something else here. Oh, there you go. Like I'm saying, thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. See you soon. Hope y'all enjoyed the information, and always, peace. Instagram. I'd like to thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. See you soon. Thank you. Appreciate, love you, and always. Peace. Alrighty. There we go. Now for YouTube. Real quick. Switch this up. YouTube Live. I'd like to thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Appreciate, love you. See you soon, and thank everybody for your comments of tonight. Peace.